Washington now has 162 cases of coronavirus. That includes 22 deaths. 31 people living at Life Care Center in Kirkland have now tested positive, and the center is waiting for the results from another 20 residents. King 5's Callie Greenberg is there live in Kirkland this morning, and apparently Life Care isn't the only nursing home dealing with coronavirus, right?
In fact, we're learning about a senior living facility just a half mile from this location, the Gardens at Juanita Bay, that now have their first positive test for coronavirus. We'll talk more about that response. But as far as the residents here at the Life Care Center, 31 of them have tested positive for coronavirus. Those residents are going to stay at this facility unless they start showing severe symptoms of coronavirus. They'll then get moved to a local hospital. As for the residents who test negative, which right now is just one, the center says they're moving them into a different portion of the facility, but they will stay inside the building for now. The care workers inside the building also are waiting to be tested as well. But if we talk about this facility, the Gardens at Juanita Bay, just a half mile from this location, yesterday they reported their first coronavirus case. Now, this is a community for people 65 and up, which is an age group considered high risk for coronavirus. The resident was transferred to the VA Medical Center for further care, and the Gardens ownership group put out a statement saying they've been taking extreme precautions and are trying to limit residents' exposures. Still, people like Julie Schuler, whose 94-year-old mother lives at the Gardens, she says she's worried they're just not doing enough.
They're taking steps like taking their meals to their, to their own apartments. They're using language like restricting visitors, urging residents to remain in their apartments. But how tight is that?
So you're concerned about the measures that they have in place right now?
Mm-hmm. And that, my family and I, we feel that it should have been stronger from the beginning.
So back out live here at the Life Care Center, you can see a memorial starting to form right at the entrance at the sign here. Now, the Life Care Center, King County and Seattle Public Health have connected 19 deaths to from the coronavirus to the Life Care Center here in Kirkland. And as for perspective on all of this, King County is reporting 116 total cases just in the county. Life Care Center is reporting 51 of those cases are connected to the facility. Live in Kirkland, Callie Greenberg, King 5 News.
It just keeps getting worse. Callie, thanks. Kirkland firefighters and medics were among the first to help those at Life Care Center before anyone even knew there was an outbreak. And now it's confirmed one person has it. King 5's Kira Alfallen live outside Fire Station 24-1 this morning, which remains offline. Kira, what's the latest? Where are these emergency responders this morning?
Yeah, the latest. So that one first responder has tested positive for coronavirus. A lot of them under quarantine right now or in self-isolation. We know that 8 tests came back negative, and the city is still waiting on additional test results as well. So about 31 firefighters in total were put under quarantine after responding to the Life Care Center. 6 have completed the recommended quarantine and were released since they were not showing symptoms. An additional 9 firefighters, along with 3 police officers, have been placed in quarantine. Most of these first responders are in isolation or in quarantine at home. The city says Kirkland Fire and Police departments are fully staffed and responding to calls as normal, but following public health guidelines, all city evening meetings, with the exception of city council meetings, will be canceled until the end of March. So in response to the outbreak of this virus, Bellevue police substations at Victoria and Crossroads are closed right now. Their main police station at City Hall is open, but they are recommending you communicate with them online unless you absolutely have to come in. Seattle firefighters, on the other hand, are taking the necessary precautions by wearing protective gear when responding. This means you'll see them wearing gowns, masks, and gloves as well when responding. I'm live here in Kirkland, Kira Alfallen, King 5 News.
Thanks, Kira. Dozens more schools are closing because of the outbreak. Snohomish School District now says it will be closed today after a transportation employee tested positive. So the district will take the day to clean the office, which means it cannot transport students and then needs to close all 17 schools. That's nearly 10,000 students. That closure is just for today as of right now. Meanwhile, in Tacoma, Sheridan and Lowell elementary schools are closed for the remainder of the week. Wilson High School also closed today. And the health department has extended the closure at Lyon Elementary through Thursday. This is all after people at those schools tested presumptive positive for coronavirus. Here are the newest closures that we've learned about as reported. Some districts using remote learning, campuses empty, they continue classes. North Shore reporting a 98% attendance yesterday after day one of remote learning. All the updates are on king5.com. Text the word schools to us at 206-448-4545. We'll send you a direct link.
Every day we are getting updates on the latest number of coronavirus cases and the counties that are affected by it. Governor Jay Inslee said in an interview on MSNBC last night that estimates show Washington could see 1,000 cases or more.
The concern about this, and that's why as people who are listening tonight, as communities get hit with this, and they will, unfortunately, because it's a matter of slowing this epidemic at the moment, when you're asked to take action and you say, well, why? There may be only 3 people in my community. The problem is that when you double whatever that number is and you double it every week, these things can explode.
The governor says everyone needs to be dedicated to making decisions earlier in the epidemic to get ahead of the curve. Well, get ready for a potential rally on Wall Street. You're looking live at U.S. Stocks Futures Board showing the Dow bouncing back by just under 1,000 points. This is in response to President Trump floating the idea of a payroll tax cut or some kind of relief from coronavirus. The rally isn't enough to offset yesterday's losses. It was an ugly day on Wall Street. The opening sell-off was so drastic, trading stopped for 15 minutes. That's an automatic safeguard to prevent a market crash. The Dow dropped more than 2,000 points, nearly 8%. In its worst day since 2008, the Nasdaq dropped 625 points and the S&P 500 dropped 225.
King 5 is committed to bringing you facts, not fear, as we cover the spread of the virus. Context critical in a time like this. That's another reason why we're dedicating an entire hour to answering your questions. We're holding a King 5 Town Hall tomorrow night, 7 to 8 p.m. We'll also be live on Facebook from 8 to 8:30. And this morning, you too can submit a question that you would like to see answered. Head to our Facebook page, find this post on our page. I've also shared it on my Facebook page.